Pollution is the effect of undesirable changes in our surroundings that have harmful effects on plants, animals, and human beings. This occurs when only short-term economic gains are made at the cost of long-term ecological benefits for humanity. There are many types of pollution, and one of those is air pollution. So what is air pollution? Air pollution occurs due to the presence of undesirable solid or gaseous particles in the air in quantities that are harmful to human health and the environment. Air may get polluted by natural causes such as volcanoes, which release ash, dust, sulfur, and other gases, or by the forest fire that are occasionally naturally caused by lightning. However, unlike pollutants from human activities such as fossil fuel, industry, agricultural activities, war, and natural caused arid emissions from vehicles, naturally occurring pollutants tend to remain in the atmosphere for a short time and do not lead to the permanent atmospheric changes. In the structure of atmosphere, only the lower troposphere is routinely involved in the weather and hence air pollution. The other layer of the atmosphere are not significant in determining the level of air pollution. Pollutants that are emitted directly from identifiable source are produced both by natural events, example dust and volcanic eruption, and human activities such as emission from vehicles and industries. These are called the primary pollutant. There are 5 primary pollutants that together contributes to 90% of the global air pollution. These are carbon oxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxide, volatile organic compound, and suspended particulate matter. Pollutants that are produced in the atmosphere where certain chemical reaction takes place among the primary pollutant are called secondary pollutant. Examples are sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and carbonic acid. In the primary pollutant, carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, and toxic gas produced when organic materials such as natural gas, coal, or wood are incompletely burned. Vehicular exhaust are the single largest source of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is, however, not a persistent pollutant, as natural processes can convert carbon monoxide to other compounds that are not harmful. Therefore, the air can be cleared of its carbon monoxide if no new carbon monoxide is introduced in the air atmosphere. Sulfur oxide, however, are produced when sulfur-contained fossil fuel are burnt, and hydrocarbon are a group of compounds consisting of carbon and hydrogen atom. They either evaporate from fuel supplies or are remnant of fuels that did not burn completely. Hydrocarbon are washed out of the air when it rains and runs into the surface water. They cause an oily films on the surface and do not as such cause serious issues until they react to form secondary pollutant. On the other hand, particulate are the small pieces of solid materials. For example, smoke particles from fire bits of asbestos, dust particles, and ash from industries disappeared into the atmosphere. The effect of particulates range from soot to carcinogenic, cancer-causing effects from asbestos, dust particles, and ash from industrial plants, while lead is a major pollutant that remains largely unmonitored and emitted by vehicles. Highly lead levels have been reported in the ambient air in metropolitan cities. Lead petrol is primary source of airborne lead emissions in Indian cities. Moreover, pollutants are also found indoor from infiltration of polluted outside air and from various chemical use or produced inside building. Both indoor and outdoor air pollution are equally harmful. The Clean Air Act authorizes the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, to protect public health by regulating the emission of this harmful pollutant. The NRDC has been a leading authority on this law since it was established in 1970. Effects of air pollution. It is impossible to describe the whole extent of potential and actual damage caused by all forms of air pollution, but here are the main consequences. On the environment, global warming, and on human health. On the environment, air pollution has a major impact on the process of plant evolution by preventing photosynthesis in many cases, with serious consequences for the purification of air we breathe. It also contributes to the formation of acid rain, atmospheric precipitation in the form of rain, frost, snow, or fog, which are released during combustion of fossil fuel and transformed by the contact with water stream in the atmosphere. Global warming. On top of that, air pollution is a major contributor to global warming and climate change. In fact, the abundance of carbon dioxide in the air is one of the causes of greenhouse effect. Normally, the presence of greenhouse gases should be beneficial for the planet because they absorb infrared radiation produced by the surface of Earth. But the excessive concentration of these gases in the atmosphere is the cause of the recent climate change. On human health, our continual exposure to air pollutant is responsible for the deterioration of human health. Air pollution is indeed a significant risk factor for human condition, causing allergies, respiratory, and cardiovascular diseases, as well as lung damage. How to reduce air pollution? Anybody can take steps to reduce air pollution. Millions of people every day can make a simple changes in their lives to do this. There are ways to prevent, control, and eventually reduce air pollution. First, renewable fuel and clean energy production. Second, energy conservation and efficiency. Third, eco-friendly transportation. Fourth, green building. Renewable fuel and clean energy production. The most basic solution for air pollution is to move away from fossil fuels, replacing them with alternative energies like solar, wind, and geothermal. Energy conservation and efficiency. Producing clean energy is crucial, but equally important to reduce our consumption of energy by adopting responsible habits and using more efficient devices. Eco-friendly transportation. Shifting to electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles and promoting shared mobility like carpooling and public transport could reduce air pollution. Green building. From planning to demolition, green buildings aims to create environmentally responsible and resource-efficient structure to reduce their carbon footprint. In addition, monitoring air pollution level has become very important to detect pollution peak, better control air pollution, and eventually improve air quality. Climate change. The scientific community and government across the world are in agreement that climate is changing. But what is climate change? What causing it, and how will it affect us? The climate can be described as an average weather over a period of time. Climate change means a significant change in the measures of climate, such as temperature, rainfall, or wind, lasting for an extended period, decades, or longer. The Earth's climate has changed many times during the planet's history, with events ranging from ice age to a long period of warmth. What's different about this period of Earth history is that human activity are significantly contributing to the natural climate change through our emissions of greenhouse gases. This interference is resulting in the increase of air and ocean temperature, melting ice and snow, rising sea level, increased rainfall, flooding, and other influences. So what causes climate change? Climate change can result from natural processes and factors, and more recently due to human activities through our emissions of greenhouse gases. The examples of natural factor includes changes in the sun intensity, volcanic eruption, or slow change in Earth orbits around the sun. However, current global aim is to tackle climate change resulting from human activities whose greenhouse gas emissions are changing the composition of Earth's atmosphere. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, states that most of the observed increase in global average temperature since mid-20th century is very likely due to the observed increase in anthropogenic, produced by human, greenhouse gas emissions. The example of human activities contributing to climate change includes carbon dioxide emissions through burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas pit, and emission through land use changes such as deforestation, urbanization, and desertification. These emissions that are changing the composition of Earth's atmosphere are termed the greenhouse effect. For the past 200 years, the burning of fossil fuels such as coal and oil and deforestation has caused the concentration of heat-trapping greenhouse gases to increase significantly in our atmosphere. These gases prevent heat from escaping to space, somewhat like glass panels on a greenhouse. The increased emissions to the atmosphere of greenhouse gases means that current level of gases far exceed their natural ranges. The figures below shows the level of certain greenhouse gases in the atmosphere over the last 200 years. This rise in greenhouse gases has increased the amount of energy being trapped in the climate system. The consequences of this are most clearly evident in the global temperature record, which shows that, on average, the global temperature has increased by 0.8 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels. The continued emissions at or above current level would cause further warmings and result in changing in the global climate system. Fortunately, climate change is solvable. We have technology, we have science. What we only need now is leadership and courage to change course. To avoid the worst consequences of climate change, we need to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050 or sooner. Net zero means that, on balance, no more carbon is dumped into the atmosphere that is taken out. And to achieve net zero emissions, we need a massive transformation in how we produce and consume energy. We need a newer, better transportation system. We need to stop deforestation. We need a climate-friendly agricultural system. And we need to change, and not the climate.